But to end there, we take oil and gas and space and time, and we alchemy it into bluestone. And so back to Bitcoin and the internet and that federal level, if I can't pound this out, there's neutrinos of the sun, and why we mine gold where their computer applications are functionable. But this is built on a ball bearing factory down here. Okay? Inside of it, you just can't sign orders without understanding Texas doesn't really have it. They don't have an industry short of the corn industry, but this is going to mass out when you start to integrate the wage differential back over. Now, I'm not going to say it's not at the responsibility of people who have made a lot of money and didn't necessarily segue the market for where they should have been considering certain things, whether it be global warming, populace, and civil engineering, or otherwise. Okay? That's the first part everybody has to know. You got to move. You cannot stay in one spot for fucking ever. It's nice when you're camped up out there, but you gotta move. Here's a union boss, right? I work on the floor. There's times when I play the market. This is just a job. If the broker guy on the floor needed an extra hand, then you have to be able to switch off over there to the farm. You just can't sit and do one job. It's not a state regulator, federal regulation number of what it is. There's a price and a commodity. That's what it is for time. If they're using it because of transposition, information, distance, and time and systems, whether it be the internet or otherwise, or what system it takes to actually trickle that down. The flood over here is going to take a day before it comes downstream. It's just the way it is. Inside here, about union standards and rules of order that go into displacing this difference over a time is to say, obviously your market's not going to like it, but I cannot have a one-sided swing, whether it be political or whether it be civilian, and I don't care how high you climb on the chain. They didn't give you the vote based on their numbers. Now, that's a fucked up system all on its own when it comes to the vote, because the honest fact of the matter is not about a vote. It's about fucking Carl Sagan. Okay? I'm going to snatch him, and I'm going to put his happy ass in the chair until his core burns out. Just like everybody else. You nub that shit down to the eraser before you get rid of it. Toss in the fire to burn off whatever's left down there. Inside of here, there are notes that, when you actually go to talk to somebody and say, well, what did you do about that thing? And the answer is, I don't care. That's a failed engineering test. I gotta have information on timelines of where this is going in terms of the communications of who this is displaced to, because it works its way all the way down to the ground. That person right there, from my list, his name is fucking Joe, John, Bob, whoever, has a very specific fucking task for the deliberated system that was going through here, all the way down to, without knowing what that asshole is gonna do every day, what they gotta do. And without that standard inside of there, I can't distinguish this system from that system, or why they can switch off into a system. And when this chain whip comes down, the free-for-all for the union boss down there, because it works on its top level too, to say people in here might have had a better engineering idea, but they can't sit in that position. People aren't going to give a damn. They're not. At this point in time, they're not going to give a damn. Some middle ground markets, some top level players inside here, but the honest fact of the matter is you just one fucking person. You got to be able to back off of this. As big as you might be, you have to be able to switch off for a certain time, because it's in that Sun Tzu, multiple generals dealing with fronts and areas, Kublai Khan's kids floating around all over around here, right? You get the whole village coming together eventually. That makes its own damn problems when the Brotherhood forgets about it all, and it's no longer about those things, and it's back to gravity. Gravity was the problem. The ground is the problem. Hydrogen number one supremo, that goddamn black hole over there. Anything else floating around out here? Because it plays the same way down here. Now, I don't care what you think you are. You're a fucking 1 and 0 black hole. Solar massive, supermassive black hole. Because they just sit. You go looking for a goddamn problem with one, you're going to find one. Silica is a nature of a thing that I can't get out of the ground without oil or gold. Bitcoin is a currency on time and space, but that time and space has to be differentiated with food. So somebody's out there running rabbits, right? Because I'm going to have to run rabbits. You're not going to like it when I start running fucking rabbits. You know, that's going to turn into a huge lambda calc on things, while pinning that motherfucker down and keeping it on the farm. Because I ain't going to chase it out there all the time like that. And that's the same nature of Bitcoin, but it's based on the resources of this very dynamic system down here. People, players, their resources, timelines about what they're doing and why they are doing it. And I try to not make this. You make it 888. We gather with pause. You got to have fucking pay attention about eat cycle, work cycle, and sleep cycle. What they're going to do inside of there for the breeding program. You just can't burn that dude out down to the ground and not expect this to come back through, because I ain't got nobody else. I ain't got that fucking hookup over there. I don't know when they're going to send somebody over to me, let alone a fucking brigade. I don't know what's rolling through town here. Oh, regulation shut down. I guess the stone mill's done because the oil is done. No gasoline for the propane tanks. They're not built on electric technology anymore. This building is not set up on solar. You want to know why? Because that's still a brand new technology for a 10-year mill, when the cost of a thing was so crazy off at the front end of a system. There's only one person who can invent it, and now even it's down here, I can't just switch out everything in the building. So you burn down every goddamn building. Let alone, well, let's see, I mean, Elon's working on tractor trailers for trucks, right? But I got to work with the trucking industry for Cisco and all these other places to make sure the groceries get to the store based on those standards. And if they ain't got their hookup connected inside here, guess what happens? Hey, you think this is about Bitcoin and gold? It's about work. It's about director of information technology being the job. And that comes grinding out Bitcoins.